The Haunted Painting of the Lovers. A supernatural thriller novel. In the forgotten hills of Arden, nestled between foggy woods and wind-battered cliffs, stood the ancient Merrow estate. It was a manor cursed by time, sealed behind rusted gates, and cloaked in eerie silence. No one had lived there in over 70 years, until Evelyn Moore arrived. Evelyn was an art restorer from London, young and ambitious, freshly grieving the loss of her fiancé. She had inherited the estate from a great-aunt she had never met. With nowhere else to go and a career on the brink of collapse, she chose to settle in, hoping the solitude might heal her soul. The mansion was filled with dust-covered canvases, faded portraits, and relics from centuries past. But one painting, hanging in the master bedroom, captivated her instantly. It was titled The Lovers. The painting depicted a couple in 19th-century attire embracing under a cherry tree. The man wore a velvet coat, the woman a flowing white dress. Their love radiated from the canvas, so vivid, so tender, it stirred something deep in Evelyn. She moved it to her study, determined to restore its beauty. But the first night, things changed. She awoke at 3:12 a.m. to a thud from the study. Sleep-drunk and nervous, she crept in. The room was freezing. The painting was different. The woman's white dress now had faint red stains on the hem. The man's eyes, once full of love, seemed shadowed by dread. Evelyn blinked hard, thinking it was exhaustion. She returned to bed, uneased. The next morning, it looked normal again. Night after night, the painting evolved. The couple's hands once entwined were now gripped in fear. Bruises appeared on the woman's wrists. The man's shirt was torn and blooded. On the fifth night, Evelyn saw a noose hanging from the cherry tree in the background. The woman's eyes, terrified, were staring directly at her. Terrified yet entranced, Evelyn began researching the painting's origin. In an old ledger, she found a note, commissioned in 1843 by Lord Merrow, depicting his son, Elias, and his forbidden lover, Annabel. Forbidden? That word echoed. A trip to the local archives revealed a harrowing truth. Elias Merrow had fallen in love with Annabel, a maid in the estate. His father had disapproved, believing her beneath their station. When the lovers planned to elope, Lord Merrow intercepted them. Annabel was found hanged from the cherry tree. Elias's body was discovered days later in the forest, his throat slit. The deaths were declared tragic accidents, but rumors whispered of murder. Lord Merrow had painted the couple himself, haunted by guilt, then locked the painting away. Days later, he vanished, never to be seen again. Evelyn became obsessed. The painting, she realized, was a curse, a vessel of their suffering. Every night, their story unraveled further. She began hearing whispers in the halls, footsteps following her, and weeping behind locked doors. The air grew colder. Her dreams were drenched in blood and screaming. On the seventh night, the painting showed the final scene, Elias impaled on the iron gates, Annabel's eyes wide in terror as her body hung limp from the tree. The canvas was soaked in red, and the tree's bark cracked open like a mouth, as if screaming. Evelyn knew she had to end it. She dragged the painting to the garden, beneath the very cherry tree it portrayed, long dead and blackened with rot. She poured kerosene, struck a match, and watched it burn. But the flames refused to consume it. The fire danced around the painting, never touching the lovers' faces. Instead, smoke began to rise in shapes, two figures, Elias and Annabel, stepping out of the frame. Their eyes met hers. Elias whispered, "You saw us." Annabel's voice, softer, choked, "You believed us." In that moment, the wind died. The tree groaned. The ground trembled, and with one final gust of fire, the painting cracked in half. The spirits dissolved into ash. Silence returned to Merrow Estate. Evelyn left the next morning. She never spoke of the painting again. But she painted portraits of love and sorrow, of truth buried under centuries of silence. Her art, once technical, now pulsed with emotion. And sometimes, just before midnight, she'd glance at a canvas and wonder, was love ever meant to die so cruelly? And in the forgotten shadows of Merrow Estate, beneath the twisted cherry tree, two ghosts rest together at last, their agony painted across the stars.